everybody. I'm Heidzalyn with Austin Entertainment Management, our music strategy show. And with me is Mike Graz, otherwise known as Swearwerds. How you doing today, Mike?
Good. How you doing, Heidi?
I am doing awesome.
Good.
So we've got a pretty serious topic that we're going to talk about today. And it's what your inner judge is saying to you. And so we're going to have a pretty deep conversation about that. But of course, first, we want to let you know what cool things are going on that you could participate in this week. You ready for that, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Awesome. So first of all, we don't have time for me to go over all the events that are going on online. There's tons of networking. There is tons of education that's available, and it's free. Okay, free. That's a beautiful word, isn't it? Mine, free. Yes.
Best word.
So you can check out what those events are by visiting our website, howisthebomb.com/events. There you're going to see what weekly networking events we have going on. There's actually one that comes on right we're done at 11 o'clock with the Essential Academy. So if you still have some time after hanging out with us, then you can go even just to our Facebook page. Even we've got some links there. Wherever you like to get your links from. We're trying to get there everywhere. Still working on Instagram. That one's still like weird for me, but so yes, that is those events. And then we have special events. Like last week on Friday, Joanna had her 5-dimensional performing arts. Oh yeah, and I was gonna check and see if she did not reply to that. I believe that she is going to have another one of those coming up. When she announces that, we will let you know. Mike, you were there. What did you think of the event? I know you were driving, so it was a little bit harder for you.
Yeah, I was driving for part of it. So to me, the event was really awesome because she was kind of like your guide for that event. So if you felt more like nervous, or you didn't want to be as social, or you were kind of just skeptical, or like didn't know what to expect, it was nice because she was that kind of person that took you by the hand and led you to what she was trying to convey with the 5-dimensional experience. So it was like really nice doing like certain exercises and the breathing, and especially like the getting up and the dancing and all that stuff. That was wild, I'm not gonna lie, but it was really awesome because it was like so full of Joanna's energy. So it was, to me, it was a great experience, and I feel like I definitely look forward to the next one, and I think anyone should definitely try it because it was soul lifting, very Joanna.
Yes. I mean, talk about a good way to just let go of some stress and just kind of let go of that inner judge and just do something that's fun, right?
Yeah.
And I like how you said that she was like the guide, because I really felt that too. I mean, we're all digital, but you really could kind of feel like her taking your hand and being like, okay, let's go over here. No, it's okay. We're going to do this together. So, yeah.
Exactly. It was really cool.
Awesome. Yeah, so this week, I have a very, very special guest coming into the Wilder Business Success office here in Jacksonville, Florida. But the cool thing is we are also going to be having that meeting on Zoom. So if you aren't in Jacksonville, Florida, and you would like to listen to an inspiring TED Talk speaker who is going to show us how you can use public speaking as a way to market yourself. And I especially think for musicians, if you are not comfortable with this, if you're not comfortable with doing videos, if you're not comfortable with doing interviews, if you're not comfortable getting up in front of people except to play music, and maybe you're not even there yet, and that's okay too. But come in here, Sarah, and be inspired by her story to see that no matter what your background, your story is, it's authentic and it's what people want to hear from you and to be able to connect. And it's a great way for you to connect and reach your audience. So she may be popping in. She might all of a sudden be here. She's speaking somewhere else in Jacksonville this morning, so she said she would stop in and say hello if she has a moment. So that could happen in the middle of our.
I can't wait to hear her story too.
Yeah, so that's a really great event, and that starts at 5:30 this evening.
Awesome.
I also want to tell you guys about this awesome event that my band Masked is going to be playing at, called Farmalooza. It's in Wisconsin. It's June, and hopefully everything will be unfrozen by then. I had this great conversation with the creator of Farmapalooza. His name is Brody. And so I have this interview recorded and ready to go, and it's going to broadcast at 6 p.m. on Friday.
Nice.
So you guys are going to be able to check that out, learn more about the event, which, by the way, it is June 9th through the 10th. And I am also very excited because Austin Entertainment Management is a sponsor of this event. So because of this, Brody is not going to be the only interview around this festival, but I am going to connect with all of the bands that I'm going to be playing with for that weekend, and we're going to be interviewing them too. And so those recorded segments are all going to come out on Fridays at 6 p.m.
Excellent. That's going to be so good.
I think so too. So that is pretty much our event announcements, unless you can think of another one, Mike.
Not that I know of, besides Empress 24/7, but that's just me. Just kidding.
I'm not as organized today with my list, but I think I've got everything, and if not, I'll catch it at the end. So now is the time where we're going to talk a little bit more about the judge and what the judge says. So the reason why this conversation is starting today is because I am in this amazing program. I guess we'll call it a program right now, called Positive Intelligence. Okay, not a sponsor. I just need to tell you how awesome this program is. And what we're doing is basically learning more about the voices of our sabotaging traits, how to identify them, and then he's got this nice, quick, and easy process called a PQ rep to build up your mental muscle to be able to shift out of that survival brain thinking that's on one side of your brain, and then shift into neutral so that you can hear the side of your brain that has creativity and empathy and the outside of the box kind of thinking. That's where all of your answers are. That's where all of your creativity to write a new song is. That is where your creativity for videos and other art content is going to come from, is that sage thinking, rather than this saboteur voice. And so these saboteurs, at one point in time had a role kind of to protect your survival as you were growing up. And so I just want to read something from Dr. Shahzad's app that talks about the judge and what its original survival function is for. So the judge is a bias toward noticing, exaggerating, and reacting to the negative is a central survival strategy. It reduces our chances of being surprised and harmed by unanticipated dangers to our physical and emotional survival. Because of its key function, the judge is the universal saboteur shared by all, regardless of circumstance of our upbringing. So the problem with the judge, if you don't identify it, realize that it's happening, is it can kind of take over and rule your life. And when this happens, it's the original cause of a lot of our anxiety, distress, and suffering. And it's also the cause of most of the conflicts in our relationships. So today, I really wanted to talk about this at a level of a creator, because I feel from my past, and I will share this in with some of my writing, how the judge has affected and held me back. And then Mike has just released a new song called The Empress. It's so exciting, Mike. And so he's going to be talking a little bit more about how that judge voice has kind of kept him from getting that song out a lot sooner, right?
Definitely.
So let's start talking about Empress. How long did it take you to write that
song? So Empress originally started in my notebook January 1st, 2021. So that was the beginning of it, and I didn't actually finish like lyrically and musically the song until probably November 2021. So like 11 months I worked on that song, and it was one of those things that I started it and I wasn't kind of sure where it was going to go. And over the course of the 11 months, I just kind of waited for moments that something came to me, and then I would just like put it down or add it. But it didn't actually, I wasn't able to finish it until I just allowed myself to just write what I feel and then go from there. I feel like that was the most difficult part, because a lot of times I get stuck in my head when I'm writing, and I try to think about, well, how would people react to this? And what if someone doesn't understand what I'm saying here? So sometimes, like, that's my saboteur, my judge in a way, is that like I worry so much kind of like what other people are gonna say or understand from what I'm saying, or if they're going to take things out of context. So it kind of hinders what I'm trying to express organically. And I find that like whenever that happens, my songs take forever. But then there's times, if there's a time where if I just write and I just try to be organic about it, there's times I can write a song in an hour. So it's crazy for me. But like nowadays I'm trying to learn more. I'm just trying to express myself more organically and stop trying to write for anybody else, because ultimately it's me trying to express my experiences to help someone else, you know. So I try to keep that in mind. But yeah, Empress took me 11 months to write, and then even longer to get recorded, because that was a whole nother obstacle of, oh well, I don't know if I can afford to go and record at a studio. I've never done this before. I don't know what it's gonna look like. Um, is it just gonna be acoustic? Am I gonna have instruments? I don't have a full band. Maybe I'll just try to get a full band first. So then add 2 years to that, right? A year and a half to that situation. So Empress was such a long process, and especially thinking about it now, like it was 2 years and 1 month for that to be something, just a piece of paper, to something out so the world can hear it. And it didn't have to be that long.
All right, awesome. Well, that was some really good insight. I want to ask, you know, what kind of thoughts like would shut you down when you were working on it? You know, if you were sitting down and you were working on the lyrics, or you were working on a certain part of the music of the song, what kind of thoughts would you have that just all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I'm done working on this right
now? For me, it was like catchiness. Like I get super frustrated if I can't find something that is catchy enough for me, because I like to write music from that pop perspective where it'll get like stuck in your head. So for me, I found like roadblocks with Empress when I was writing, and I couldn't find like the right melody, and that was difficult because I was also playing with different tunings of the guitar too. So it went from like originally a standard song to something that was in, I don't even know like the standards of the guitar. I just know that I put my capo on the first fret and then I dropped it like it was a metal song. So I ended up playing with that, and then I finally found something that matched the melody of my voice that I was going for. So that was a big thing that hindered me, because I kept playing the song even after I wrote all the lyrics and kept saying like, oh, but this doesn't sound right. Like I don't think this is the best that it could be right now. So that was one of the things, and I feel like that was the biggest voice in my head, was I don't think this is as good as it can be right now. Like I think that there's more that I can do to it. There's something that I can make better with it. So I guess like a lack of satisfaction was always going through my head, and also feeling like I was taking too much time on this. Like I shouldn't take this much time on a song. Like, and I wasn't even sure if I was ever going to finish it, because to me at first it was kind of like I have an idea about this, but I already written so many love songs in the past that I was like, well, you know, it's just another love song. So I didn't even expect it to be like one of my favorite songs that I ended up writing.
So how did that make you feel? Not to be all like psychiatrist like, but you know what? Like, how did that make you feel when you were like, this is taking too much time?
Almost made me want to give up on the song, but I don't know. It frustrated me because it made me question my own ability of like as a songwriter and as a musician. Like, oh, if I can't write this song and in a reasonable amount of time, like how am I going to make it if I have to write an album in X amount of time? Or if I get a record deal and they demand this and that from me, like am I going to be able to meet their expectations if I can't meet my own right now? So that was a big thing. That was huge. That made me feel pretty bummed out. But I also have that
like anxiety.
Yeah, like I try to believe in myself, but like I mean, those things were definitely there, like as possibilities, because that's like I feel like in the music industry, that's part of your job as like a musician, to meet these expectations and to deliver to your fans and stuff like that. So that was definitely a little discouraging for me to take this long with this song.
So I like what you were talking about as far as, well, this part just didn't quite seem right, and you kept working on it. So there is a difference between judging, and the judging is all of the things that are going to make you be like stressed out and feel guilty, or like, why can't I do this? What's wrong with me? But then there's another side that's not judgment, but it's really, really close. And that's discernment. And that is looking at something for what it is and not placing judgment on it. You're observing it. You're looking at it like a scientist experimenting. And if you think about it that way, you think about putting your song together, and it's like, well, it's just not quite there yet. I see it in my mind in a different way. This doesn't have to be a bad thing. This doesn't have to be oh man, like, how could you just only be this far on the song again? You had a whole hour. Like, but instead you're like, well, I played around with this part and that didn't quite work. So, but that was fun. Well, I was playing with it. I was trying to puzzle it together, because it is fun to put those pieces together, right?
It's so much fun. It's like cracking a code.
I feel like the judge, one of the worst ways that for creatives it poisons us is that it just steals the fun right out of it and replaces it with like stress and anxiety and pressure and, oh my goodness, like if I'm going to do this, then I've got to perform to this certain level. And why? Who's telling you that you have to be at this particular level, or you've got to get a song done in this particular amount of time?
Right.
But your own judge.
Yeah. That's the truth.
So that was super cool, Mike. So before we run out of time, I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to hear your song. So hold on a second. I'm going to share my screen here. And hopefully you guys are all going to hear this, and we're just going to dance over here.
But I'm like, come on, it's needy. 'Cause your love has become my muse. All I want is you. When she waits for his water in the morning, it'll be by my side forever. First thing in the morning, like I said, she's my muse, but she may be a story. She's just the best, forget all the rest. She's my empress.
Yay!
Well,
All right.
jam.
So we've got the link down on the screen if you guys want to check that song out on your own time, because you might want to play that like a bunch of times in a row. Very fun song. Like, love the tempo changes. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And I also want to thank you today, for talking about your judge and talking about the part that we don't always talk about out loud, the difficulty, the feelings, the emotion, the stress that we can feel sometimes behind creating. And hopefully from today, you've seen that you can shift this and you don't have to think about it in that negative judgmental way, but you can be more discerning and empathetic toward yourself and just let that creativity flow out of you. It's going to be a lot better all the way around.
Yeah.
So this episode was called "You're Really Stupid," which is actually a lyric from my song that really addresses the judge. And since we had an awesome conversation with Mike, I feel like next week we can talk about my judge, because we're just not going to fit that in 2 minutes. It's not going to happen. But I do want to let you guys know that Mike and there's a group of us that are all doing a mastermind on Mondays. And hold on just a second. I've got a little thing about this on our mastermind. So if you're interested in working with other musicians where we're talking not only about mindset things and the things that kind of hang us up, because we are usually the biggest hurdle in our own way, but we're also talking about marketing techniques and how we can work together and collaborate on fun projects like this. Marketing doesn't have to be a solo project. And when you team up as a community, you've got different ideas and different creativities going around, it makes it, again, a whole lot more fun. And that's what we're trying to create with our community, a thriving music community. And we're thriving because we're having a lot of fun. Right, Mike?
Definitely. Lots of fun.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Don't forget, 5:30 p.m. tonight. You can join us at wilderbusinesssuccess.com. I'll have to put the link in the comments because I did not have it. And you can also go to our Facebook page, events, and you'll be able to pick that up. And right now, you can head on over to the Essential Academy Fireworks Summit, an awesome networking event for you to meet some cool people around the world. And we will see you again next week.
Bye, guys.